I now continue my reading of Pope Benedict XVI's encyclical letter entitled Caritas in Veritate, which is to say, integral human development in charity and truth. The general heading of this chapter is the message of Pope Paul VI Encyclical Populorum Progressio. I shall now read numbers 15, 16 and 17 of Caritas in Veritate. Number 15. Two further documents by Paul VI, without any direct link to social doctrine, the Encyclical Humanae Vitae of the 25th of July 1968 and the Apostolic Exhortation Evangelii Nuntiandi of the 8th of December 1975, are highly important for delineating the fully human meaning of the development that the Church proposes. It is therefore helpful to consider these texts too in relation to Populorum Progressio. The Encyclical Humanae Vitae emphasizes both the unitive and the procreative meaning of sexuality, thereby locating at the foundation of society the married couple, man and woman, who accept one another mutually, in distinction and in complementarity. A couple, therefore, that is open to life. This is not a question of purely individual morality. Humanae Vitae indicates the strong links between life ethics and social ethics, ushering in a new era of magisterial teaching that has gradually been articulated in a series of documents, most recently John Paul II's encyclical Evangelium Vitae. The Church forcefully maintains this link between life ethics and social ethics, fully aware that, quote, a society lacks solid foundations when, on the one hand, it asserts values such as the dignity of the person, justice and peace, but then, on the other hand, radically acts to the contrary by allowing or tolerating a variety of ways in which human life is devalued and violated, especially where it is weak or marginalized. The Apostolic Exhortation Evangelii Nuntiandi, for its part, is very closely linked with development, given that, in Paul VI's words, evangelization would not be complete if it did not take account of the unceasing interplay of the gospel and of man's concrete life, both personal and social. Between evangelization and human advancement, development and liberation, there are in fact profound links. On the basis of this insight, Paul VI clearly presented the relationship between the proclamation of Christ and the advancement of the individual in society. Testimony to Christ's charity through works of justice, peace and development is part and parcel of evangelization, because Jesus Christ, who loves us, is concerned with the whole person. These important teachings form the basis for the missionary aspect of the Church's social doctrine, which is an essential element of evangelization. The Church's social doctrine proclaims and bears witness to faith. It is an instrument and an indispensable setting for formation in faith. Number 16. In Populorum Progressio, Pope Paul VI taught that progress in its origin and essence is first and foremost a vocation. Quote, in the design of God, every man is called upon to develop and fulfill himself, for every life is a vocation. This is what gives legitimacy to the Church's involvement in the whole question of development. If development were concerned with merely technical aspects of human life, and not with the meaning of man's pilgrimage through history in company with his fellow human beings, nor with identifying the goal of that journey, then the Church would not be entitled to speak on it. Pope Paul VI, like Leo XIII before him in Rerum Novarum, knew that he was carrying out a duty proper to his office by shedding the light of the gospel on the social questions of his time. To regard development as a vocation is to recognize on the one hand that it derives from a transcendent call, and on the other hand that it is incapable on its own of supplying its ultimate meaning. Not without reason, the word vocation is also found in another passage of the Encyclical, where we read, and I quote, "There is no true humanism but that which is open to the absolute, and is conscious of a vocation which gives human life its true meaning." This vision of development is at the heart of Populorum Progressio, and it lies behind all Paul VI reflections on freedom, on truth, and on charity in development. It is also the principal reason why that encyclical is still timely in our day. Number 17. A vocation is a call that requires a free and responsible answer. Integral human development presupposes the responsible freedom of the individual and of peoples. No structure can guarantee this development over and above human responsibility. The types of messianism which give promises but create illusions always build their case on a denial of the transcendent dimension of development, in the conviction that it lies entirely at their disposal. This false security becomes a weakness because it involves reducing man to subservience, to a mere means for development, while the humility of those who accept a vocation is transformed into true autonomy because it sets them free. Pope Paul VI was in no doubt that obstacles and forms of conditioning hold up development, but he was also certain that each one remains, whatever be these influences affecting him, the principal agent of his own success or failure. This freedom concerns the type of development we are considering, but it also affects situations of underdevelopment which are not due to chance or historical necessity, but are attributable to human responsibility. This is why the peoples in hunger are making a dramatic appeal to the peoples blessed with abundance. This too is a vocation, a call addressed by free subjects to other free subjects in favour of an assumption of shared responsibility. Paul VI had a keen sense of the importance of economic structures and institutions, but he had an equally clear sense of their nature as instruments of human freedom. Only when it is free can development be integrally human. Only in a climate of responsible freedom can it grow in a satisfactory manner. At the next segment of this encyclical, I shall continue at number 18.